Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It is a privilege to join you today as we highlight the successes of the Wildlife Without Borders program, and in particular, the collaborations for the conservation of biodiversity in Latin America and the Caribbean that the program is facilitating between government and non-government partners alike. I know the presentations and the promotional video being screened today will bring about a renewed and a sharper focus for us and our fellow Americans on the potential the Wildlife Without Borders program holds for strengthening United States leadership in addressing the most pressing international wildlife conservation needs on a broader landscape-based basis throughout the world. As a member of the International Conservation Caucus, and as the chairwoman of the Subcommittee on Insular Affairs, Oceans, and Wildlife in the United States House of Representatives, I am honored to lend my support to this cause and to join you in working to uphold and expand the commitment of the United States in assisting other countries and its citizens in the conservation of wildlife species and globally important biological resources. The on-the-ground, locally adapted wildlife management and conservation initiatives supported by the Wildlife Without Borders program are an important means by which our common obligations under key international treaties and conventions are being realized and fulfilled. Additionally, the local capacity being built by projects funded under the Wildlife Without Borders program is ensuring a long-term return on our investment and an immeasurable contribution to the protection of some of the most majestic, ecologically significant species. In the last 5 years, over 150 projects in more than 20 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean have been funded at a level of $3.2 million under the Wildlife Without Borders program, and generated over $12 million in matching and in-kind funds from program partners. These projects provide us with only a glimpse into the overall work undertaken by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. As the record of the program demonstrates, it is responsible for the implementation to date of over 800 projects around the world, including with respect to its initiatives in Mexico, Africa, and Russia. Additionally, these efforts complement various multinational species conservation funds authorized by Congress, supporting African and Asian elephants, rhinoceroses and tigers, great apes, marine turtles, and migratory birds. It is with this record of success and progress in mind that I join you today as you highlight the Wildlife Without Borders program. I am committed to strong oversight and to advancing legislation to enhance our capabilities to support wildlife conservation globally and to step up the fight against the illegal hunting and the illegal trade of wildlife. In the last Congress, the subcommittee which I chair held hearings examining adaptation of wildlife to climate change, illegal trafficking in wildlife, and the Wildlife Without Borders program. We hope to build on this program and to continue our work toward and in support of this program. I thank all of you for your commitment to wildlife conservation, and in particular, I thank you, David Barron, and the International Conservation Caucus Foundation for sponsoring this event this afternoon. I also thank you, Jim Maddy, and the Association of Zoos and Aquariums for your work with the Fish and Wildlife Service in producing the video being screened today. And I thank all of the nonprofit partners who have been integral to the success of Wildlife Without Borders program. And I thank you, Dr. Lovejoy and Secretary Babbitt, for lending the support and for your presence today. And finally, I want to thank Dr. Gould and all of the dedicated civil servants at the Fish and Wildlife Service for your work in the conservation of wildlife and natural resources around the globe. As the pressures from climate change, growing human populations, development and consumption of natural resources remain, we all know that we have the Wildlife Without Borders program to rely on as one means for successfully coping with and addressing these challenges. So I do look forward to continuing to work with you in this regard, and I thank you very much for inviting me to this presentation this afternoon.